In 2011, a military convoy moved through a narrow mountain pass in Afghanistan during a late afternoon resupply mission. The route had already been cleared earlier that morning. No enemy movement, no active threat warnings, just another convoy entering hostile territory. From above, the valley looked safe. One road. Steep cliffs on both sides. Barely enough room for the vehicles to move in formation. But hidden high in the rocks, someone was already waiting. The first sign came nearly 40 minutes into the drive. Radio static, then silence. One of the soldiers later said the valley felt wrong. Too quiet, no wind, no birds, nothing. Then the lead vehicle hit the pressure plate. The explosion ripped through the road instantly. Fire burst upward across the front of the convoy. The armored vehicle lifted off the ground before crashing back down in pieces. Everything stopped, and then the mountains opened fire. Machine guns erupted from both ridge lines at the exact same moment. RPGs slammed into the center vehicles. The convoy had entered a prepared kill zone. Forward movement blocked, retreat impossible. Smoke filled the entire valley within seconds. Inside the convoy, soldiers scrambled behind damaged vehicles, while bullets tore through metal around them. Some never reached cover. Others returned fire blindly toward muzzle flashes above the cliffs. Then a second explosion struck near the rear vehicles. The convoy was completely sealed in. Radio channels overloaded instantly. Voices shouting, coordinates overlapping. Distress calls cutting in and out through static. No clear command structure survived the first minutes of contact. Then the attackers moved closer. From the cliffs above, figures began descending toward the road through the smoke. Fast, controlled, prepared. This was no random ambush. It had been planned for days. Air support was requested immediately, but the valley itself worked against rescue. The cliffs blocked visibility. Smoke distorted targeting systems. Pilots above couldn't safely identify friendly positions below. Every minute trapped inside the valley increased the pressure on the convoy. Then the sound changed. Low at first, distant rotor blades echoing between the mountains. Attack helicopters, flying dangerously low through the canyon walls. The pilots had almost no room to maneuver. One mistake would mean impact against the cliffs, but they entered anyway. Rockets struck the ridge lines in controlled bursts. One enemy position after another disappeared into smoke and debris. Slowly, the gunfire began to collapse, not all at once, piece by piece, until finally, the valley went silent. When reinforcements reached the convoy hours later, the road was barely visible beneath the burned wreckage. Vehicles destroyed, men wounded, smoke still rising into the mountains, and in military reports that followed, the engagement wasn't described as a victory, only a survival event. Because in Afghanistan, some missions were never about winning, only about getting out alive. Follow Decode the Dark,